God. Good morning po. Babasahin ko po kasi medyo nawawala ako eh. Pag naiiyak na po ako, nakakalimutan ko yung sasabihin ko. Sorry. So good morning po. We just want to declare God's goodness and faithfulness in our lives by sharing our two answered prayers. We've been writing it on sa prayer request dito po, and finally God has answered these two answered prayers. First is the birth of our son, Kaylan James, and for the safe labor and delivery. It was January 18. I woke up at around 5 a.m. with a sudden gush of water and blood. I panicked, but at the same time, I prayed for our baby's safety. I was reminded of Psalm 139:13. It says there, for you form my inmost being, you knit me together in my mother's womb. We then rushed to the hospital and we found out that I am suffering from preterm rupture of membrane. The doctor and nurses had me checked and admitted on that same day. There was no pain and my cervix was still tight and closed. Two options were given. Either we wait for natural labor or they will induce me. It was around 7 p.m. when I started to feel the crampings, and at 9 p.m. they had me check again and still my cervix is closed. January 19, at around 12 a.m., the pain did not subside and it got worse. I wasn't able to sleep anymore. I remember praying to God, Lord, please let this labor progress and let it be quick. I cannot endure the pain anymore. At 5 a.m., I was transferred to birthing suite. The nurse checked me and thank God, I was then 2 centimeters dilated. The contractions were getting really intense that I begged for an epidural. At first, the nurse was hesitant because it seemed too early and it might wear off and slow down my labor. Again, praise God, because when she came back, she told me that the anesthesiologist will be there in a few minutes to administer the epidural. Thank you. A proof that God knows what we need at the right time and place. It was only after the epidural kicked in that I was able to sleep, and it was indeed a big relief. At 9 a.m., they had me checked again, and God is so good. I was already 6 centimeters dilated. Then at around 12 p.m., finally I was 10 centimeters dilated and ready to push. It was so quick, as my prayer is. 2, 6, and 10 were the numbers I can't forget, and I can only thank God for allowing that to happen. I then started pushing, and at exactly 1:49 p.m., our son, CJ, was born. Praise God for my son's and I's safety. But just when we thought everything's okay, I had a slight complication and had a retained placenta. 2 doctors had to manually remove it. It was tiring and exhausting, but God sustained me through it all. Another ordeal came, and our son was taken to NICU because he cannot latch properly and was not able to drink milk. He stayed there for a while, a week to be exact. January 20, I was discharged, and what's so hard to process was we went home without our baby. We got a bit emotional, but we were given peace by the Lord that the hospital is the safest place he can be until he'll eventually get better. Every day we would visit him in the NICU, and we're just so happy that we get to see him. January 25, the day of the heavy snowstorm, we were informed that we had to go for the so-called room in so we can finally bring our son home. Again, praise God for the safety as we brave our way to the hospital. January 26th, the next day, we were able to bring our son home. Our second prayer, our PR approval. We were first invited to apply on July 22, but there was a slight hiccups, and I may not really be eligible because I didn't complete the required experience yet. After days of consultations, prayers, and with God's guidance, on August 18, we declined the invitation to apply. However, God really has the perfect timing. The next day, August 19, we were invited again. We then gathered all the required documents, although I was personally going through physical and emotional difficulties during my pregnancy. Our God never abandoned us and sustained us through it all. October 12, we finally submitted our full PR application. We are always reminded by God's words in Jeremiah 29:11, "For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future." Few months passed by. On December 22, we received the biometrics request. We were relieved because it was a good sign. Finally, there is a movement on our application. Around second week of January, we were able to track our application through the PR tracker, and in there we saw that our biometrics was accepted and our medicals passed. On January 14, our consultant informed that the final decision was already made as reflected on the GCK. The next day, January 15, the COPR details, confirmation of permanent resident details, were already reflected on the tracker. It was a good indication that we basically were already approved in principle, awaiting formalities. And then I gave birth. Our focus shifted. But as mentioned earlier, God has perfect timing. January 26th, the same day that we took our son home, was the day we received the Portal 1. It is where they need to verify some personal information and confirm that we are present here in Canada. Finale. Then February 13, we received the Portal 2, where they confirmed our address and asked for a photo. The remaining 50% came at last. We prayed and waited patiently. On February 18, praise God and all glory to Him, we received our PR approval, our electronic COPR. Then the next day, February 19, we celebrated our son's first into this world, first month. In this life, we are constantly reminded that God will never abandon us. In times of testings and difficulties, He will either catch us if we fall or teach us how to fly. As He has said in Isaiah 41:10, "So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand." We don't have a perfect life, but we have a perfect God with perfect plans in our lives. Praise and honor to our living God.